even within our friendship, I still never knew what you did outside of filmmaking. I knew you worked at Gallup. Have you?
Oh.
Do you now run Gallup? Are you Gallup?
No. I work with students who have special needs.
Right.
And then on the side, I make the movies, which that makes them, you know my stuff. It's going to make a little bit.
Yeah.
Then I write for a educational publisher that is like, they're called Saddleback. So I've written like 100 books for them and just keep it on going. Wow. And then just, writing scripts. Every so often I work with these producers that can get stuff made. So every so often make something off of that.
You wrote that movie. Was it Stone Cold Steve Austin was in it?
Yeah, Knockout, which I thought of you because, here, wait, hold on. I wanted to show you this because I know that you're going to appreciate this. Wait, hold on. This is very, very exciting because I thought of you. So wait, hold on.
No, guys, you have no idea. Evan Jacobs is a legend. This dude is
No.
This dude...
You are the legend. Okay.
This dude's an absolute legend. Hold on. Evan's the only guy I know who could call Zach De La Rocha right now of Rage Against the Machine and get in an argument with him over something.
I'm not sure that I still have that. You know what? We'll get to that.
If you saw Zach right now, what would you start talking about?
Boxing.
Yeah, of course.
Boxing.
Right, of course.
Only boxing.
Right.
So Darren, you will appreciate this. So they marketed it in this DVD as the rugged, like, street movie, even though it's all about him training a young boy in school. But when I found it with my godson in a Christian bookstore, wait a minute. Suddenly it's all bright.
It's got the Dove seal on there.
I'm telling you, you were the first person that I thought of. I'm like, if anyone's going to appreciate the multi-level marketing, it's Darren Doane.
So Evan's a Jew, and we're always talking L'chaim Delai, Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu. I mean, we're there.
Oh,
and so
keep going.
You got it. And but I remember once, Evan's the only guy I know. Evan knew me before I became a Christian. And then when I became a Christian, I was talking about stuff, but Evan absorbs everything. And I'll never forget, someone was talking about not the Passion of the Christ, but of Scorsese, Last Temptation of Christ. And out of nowhere, Evan pulls out how he even heard it, or where he got it from. Unless it was like J. Vernon McGee, or I don't know where he got it, but he was like, but he had some quote about, I'm pretty sure before Jesus dies, the last thing he's thinking about is having sex. And you had that quote on the criticism of the movie. That's just Evan Jacob. He knows everything. He's absorbed everything. He listens to everything. I mean, he's just a pan-everything guy.
Well, I want to, we could talk about this in front of your friends, but I remember when you told me that you were becoming, I remember when you told me you were becoming a Christian.
Yeah.
And I remember you singled me out and said, I was like one of the few people that was like, great, good, good for you, and I was happy for you, and I think it happened right after God Money screened in San Diego. I think that's kind of what you started talking about.
That's right. That's right. And you were one of the few people that we could kind of talk and discuss those things. And you're probably still the only connection to kind of that chapter of my life. Like it's crazy, And
Darren Doane's story for you very, very quickly. I saw you in San Diego like 5 or 7 years ago on the street with your kids and your wife, and I was driving past you. I was with my godson and his grandfather, and I go, oh my gosh, that's Darren Doane. But the way the streets work in San Francisco, there was never going back to find. I was like, oh my gosh, I just saw him.
That's crazy. Yeah. That's crazy. Oh my goodness. I mean, that's by the way, I was just thinking, I need to check these dates. I'm pretty sure God Money, when it opened in San Diego, I think it was the same weekend that Titanic opened.
It was 1997. I remember that because it was like September, right? Was it later?
We'll have to look and see when Titanic came out because I remember thinking, boy, what a great weekend to open up your movie.
Well, okay, wait a minute.
What are the other options?
Let's just rewind back. How? Okay, you
December
need
19th.
credit. You need credit for something really, really major, and that
Okay.
is like sure Spielberg saw it, but you continued to see it. Christian Bale was the original Rick Rodney part.
Yes.
I
Yes,
mean,
he
so
was.
what was it about him? Like even at that young age that you
Right.
kind of saw and were like, hey, like Christian Bale, like yeah.
Yeah. I saw. Well, what I saw was Proximity. He's the only actor I knew. No, but it. No, actually, it was just that because I was an extra on Newsies,
Okay.
right? And he just hung out with everybody, and you could tell he really just wanted to act. I mean, that seems like an understatement now, thinking about Christian Bale, but he was down for it, and he had no connection to the indie film world. At least not the way we think of it now, not what was coming with Tarantino and, I mean, Malick was probably the closest thing we had to something getting maybe, but he, and I was coming from that punk rock, actually not punk rock yet, but I grew up on punk rock, but it was that mentality and the idea of wanting to go and just make a movie. I was probably more inspired by Spike Lee, really back in the day, because Spike Lee was the only person that wrote those books where he journaled through, like, you got the script and then his journal of, like, making the movie. And I remember I would read all of Spike Lee's books, and I kept thinking, which is funny as, like, a little white kid from suburbia, I kept thinking to myself, how do I go and get these grants to make a movie? Because he would get money from people, like, these grants, right? Like, but anyways, but I wanted to make a movie, and after Newsies, I'd become friends with him and a few other people, and I was like, we just kept in touch, and we hung out, and I was like, I'm going to make this movie, this short film, or I don't know what it is, and he just was like, I'm down. He was like, I'm down. Wanted to be at rehearsals, wanted to go through stuff. I mean, I'm young, Christian Bale's young, but he was just some people on another level. We would go and play tennis. Christian Bale and I would go and play tennis. I was pretty athletic, and I was older than Christian, and he would just whoop my butt in tennis. Like, he was just talented, like just a talented guy. And so we just had a blast making it, and I ran out of money like four days into making the movie or whatever I was trying to make. But but what I saw in Christian Bale was someone who was just down to go and get after it. That was it.
Well, it's interesting about kind of what you see in people, because I remember when we did the Descendants video, when we 1997,
Yep.
you shot it like a lot of people don't realize, like, they think, you shoot a music video and you have time set aside. You literally shot that video for Lucky, I think
Yep.
it was. You literally shot that video between them having like a break from the tour and then rejoining the tour in like a matter of hours.
Were we in New York? Were we in New York or Jersey?
Yeah. You were in New York. You were in it because remember, you guys paid a cab driver $50 to drive you around so that Darren could sit in the front.
That's
and
right.
shoot Milo.
That's right. And then we went in a hotel room and ate pizza?
Yeah. And then we talked about Rush, and we talked, and because you got a discussion with Bill Stevenson about like the greatest drummers, and that just got him like just talking.
Right. And I remember, because I think the Warped Tour was in Jersey, and I remember I got to the Warped Tour, and I ran into Fletcher from Pennywise, and he looked at me and he said, "Hey, MTV is here. Whatever you do, don't talk to them." And I was like, "I'll talk to whoever I want." He's like, "No, you talk to MTV, I'm going to kick your ass." I was like, "You ain't going to kick my ass." He's like, "You want to go right here?" I'm like, "You got a bad knee. I'm going to kick your knee so hard, and I'm going to pull your long hair." And then we start throwing punches, and people got in the middle of it and somehow broke. It's the only time, and I think that was maybe the last time I ever talked to Fletcher, is we started throwing punches at each other. And it was the weirdest. And then I just went and did the Descendants video. Like, I didn't even know what happened.
That was sort of your prep.
Yeah, that was my prep. And so I was like, what the heck just happened? Like, Fletcher couldn't decide if he was punk that day, not punk, all about the radio, not the radio. And we just collided. And, I don't think a lot of people, again, me and you are in the same kind of white, tall guy, Jewish phylum. You know what I mean? And so people look at you the way they look at me, but I'll probably throw a punch. I'll probably throw a punch quicker than you, although you could beat me in boxing, that's for sure.
Come on.
Come
we're like
on.
older now. We're like older now.
You're like Jake Paul. You're like Jake Paul.
Okay, wait a minute. Before I forget, you went to Milo before that video because everyone universally.
Hold on one second. Because you understand, Evan remembers everything that ever happens in the world, and I have to go to him to ask him what happened in my life. Evan knows. So this is amazing. Okay, go.
Okay, so you went to Milo, and everyone looks at him as a nerd. Like, that's just the common thing. I mean, he's on the cover of all the Descendants records, like,
right.
as the drawing, as the nerd.
Right.
And I remember, like, before that video, you sat down with him, and you were like, okay, so this is what we're going to do. And he was like, well, Darren, I'm a nerd. This is, like, what I do. And you were like, no, I don't see you as a nerd. I'm not going to do this in the video. I'm going to have you do this, this, and this. And I guess my question for you is, what was it about that? What was it about Milo? What was it in general that you felt, you know what, I'm going to come into however many years of punk lore and just say, this guy's not a nerd. This guy is going to be this for this video.
Because every single person that steps on that stage is a monster. I don't care who you are, if you're Milo, if you're Fletcher, if you're Davey from AFI, if you're Blink 182, you know, if you're Shinedown, if you're Jason Mraz, if you're, I don't care, if you're Zach Brown, you step on that stage in front of people, you are a monster. That takes, nothing is scarier than that. And you have to own that stage, and you have to own an audience. You have to own people throwing stuff at you, spitting at you, yelling at you. Like, and Milo is like, no, don't. Now, he may be, and he may feel that way, but when he steps on that stage, every artist to me is a superhero when they step on that stage. And I just always wanted to embody that for them or on behalf of them whenever I made any kind of music video.